Okay, Senator Bernie Sanders, he's now trying to regain traction in the race for 2020. Here's what's going on. The 2020 Democrats are cooking up bigger and bigger taxes that this country has never seen before. He's doing one better on Elizabeth Warren with his version of a wealth tax. It would hit American households really hard, all to fund costly, big government-run health care plans. Joining me now is from Washington, D.C., is Civic Forum PAC chair, and he's Republican strategist Ford O'Connell. Your reaction on this? They would tax assets like stocks and land and more.
Well, let me say this. I'm not even sure that the plan is constitutional. Here's the problem that Bernie Sanders is having is he's losing ground in the polls to Elizabeth Warren, not only nationally, but in several of the key nominating contests, including Iowa and New Hampshire. He's trying to slow his free fall, and basically he's trying to say that he's much more socialist in terms of his bona fides. His problem right now, the Democratic base, is that they like Warren's likability and energy far more.
Yeah, to your point about the Constitution, it's really about taxing income, not wealth. I mean, you wonder, Ford, if this is going to backfire on the Democrats because, you know, the big Democrat voting base they need to win, teachers unions, they get paid out of endowment funds that pays for the salaries of teachers like Elizabeth Warren, her husband, and Bernie's wife.
Well, look, there's no question that a lot of the plans that they've put forward are really pie in the sky, and nobody's actually looked at exactly who it will hurt. It's quite clear that a lot of these taxes that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are putting forward are going to hurt middle-class Americans and potentially even lower-class Americans. But again, right now, they're just trying to win the Democratic nomination. But I do think that if either of them were in the general election nominee, we'd be talking a lot more about this.
Okay, to your point, Ford, here's what critics are saying, how crazy this plan is. It would tax investments annually, not when they're sold. The IRS would have to come up with their values for what Americans' assets are. You would need a lot of bureaucrats to calculate that. The revenue raised by this wealth tax would not pay and not cover the cost of the IRS bureaucrats. Would have to figure that all out. But I want to move on because here's Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg is saying, I don't like single payer at all. Watch this.
Even Medicare for all, whether you want it or not. I'm so confident that our plan will be the best one that I think everybody will come to it.
Pete Buttigieg also had pointed out in that soundbite that taxes would have to go up. He doesn't like single payer. Majority of voters don't like it either, Ford. We see that from the polls.
Look, I think the biggest mistake that the Democrats did is going in on Medicare for all because essentially it's a dog with fleas. Only 41% of general election voters actually like it. They prefer a public option. I think that's what makes Joe Biden a little bit more dangerous against Donald Trump in the general election is because he hasn't taken this sort of Medicare for all bait. But again, if Bernie or Elizabeth Warren becomes a nominee, this is prime time ground for Donald Trump to go after him.
Yeah, and you know what, Ford, is going to come up? In the race, the president will bring up this. Look at this shot of the candidates raising their hands saying, yes, we would be for health care for illegal immigrants. I'm not sure if we have the shot of it, but Ford, that's going to bite them hard next year.
That's going to bite all of them. This applies even to Joe Biden. Only 36% of Americans favor this. And really the message that you're sending to the white working class voters who they need to win back is that you care more about illegal immigrants than you do about Americans. And that is a message that Donald Trump wants to drive home. Because remember, when we talk about illegal immigration, it hurts middle class Americans and lower class Americans regardless of ethnicity. And that's something he can win on.
Yeah, it's not just white working class. It's minorities who've worked really hard who say, hey, what are you doing? Ford O'Connell, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mac.
We have